Zel Boy Army, welcome to another spicy one on the channel. In today's video, we are looking at the best midfielders on FIFA 22. In this series, we've already done defenders. I'm not looking at icons or heroes in these. They're kind of separate. I've done videos about them anyway. We're pure looking at gold cards and like promo cards. Like here, we've got rule breakers on Yeka. For today's video, we're going to be looking at CDMs, more defensive-minded midfielders, and then more well-rounded like box-to-box midfielders. Personally, I much more prefer the box-to-box ones, but I know some people do prefer the more defensive-minded ones. So for this video, I'm putting those type of players in as well. So for this, we'll start with Onyeka. For the defenders, I did top five. For midfielders, because there's a lot more options, to be honest, I've put 6 defensive midfielders and 7 centre mids. The next one we're going to be doing is going to be related to attackers in the series. I mean, that's obviously natural progression. So Onyeka, 3-star, 3-star. His passing and shooting is pretty average. His dribbling is okay because he's agility badge, but pretty average. And his defending physical is really good. The 3-star, 3-star is not great, but Onyeka is a very good card that makes this list still not the easiest to link in. His only strong link really is going to be a Diddy, who's just not that good on the game right now. But Onyeka started us off. Very solid card. Kante. Kante is ahead of Onyeka on this for me. Purely because just how Kante plays the game. He also just has those more juice defending stats. I don't think the defending stats do quite as much as I first thought of this game, but they are helpful. And while his defending says it's only 2 better, that's because Onyeka has 20 more heading. Kante has 2 more defending awareness, 4 more interceptions, and 8 standing tackle with much more aggression. And I think aggression's more important in this game than strength. So because of that, I'm putting Kante ahead of Onyeka. He's also easy to link in, but for these type of videos, I do it based on just the card. Number 4, we've got Variety. Variety is a bit too slow for me to be a box-to-box. You want him as a more stay back. The 4-star, 4-star on him is really nice. He's insane on the ball, insane physically, got very solid defending. Not amazing, but very solid. And pretty good at passing, especially compared to some of the other ones on this list. If he could shoot, he'd move further. If he had another 10 pace, he'd probably be the number 1 defensive midfielder on the game. But right now, this Variety, whilst is good, and obviously I don't know if he's even available anymore, he was an SBC, I just don't think he's well-rounded enough to push him further up. If he had 10 more pace, he'd probably be going to the box-to-box anyway. Number 3, Tonali. The pace alone here is massive. The pace with a shadow gets him to 99 sprint speed, so he can cover ground amazing. He's got the weak foot. He could have been number 1 debatably for me, but I put someone else there. You'll see when I get there. The passing on him is amazing. It's not like insane, but for a defensive minded one, it's good. His dribbling's good. He's not that great defensive stats and pretty good, but not amazing physicals do lower him a bit. Number 2, we've got Kessie. Some people prefer Tonali. For me, Kessie, I don't know. He just has that 9 defending awareness, 5 interceptions. That for me edges it. And he's got a bit better passing with that short pass being a bit more zip. And he's got a slightly better shot. I think that movement as well is noticeable, especially on new gen. The number 1 I'm putting in though for me, purely on just a defensive-minded one, is Declan Rice. And if he wouldn't get any more upgrades, I wouldn't put him on here. But based off these cards, he is going to get that passing up to even more. He's a bit slower and not really much better physically than the other ones, but he's insane at passing. And I've noticed when you get to the high 90s on passing, the passing's that good. It catches people out. It can be amazing. He's got elite defending. He's good physically. So I'm putting Declan Rice in it. If he couldn't get upgraded anymore, I'd probably put him 3rd or 4th. But the fact he's going to get upgraded more makes him a bit better for me. I think he'll probably be quite cheap as well. He's purely defensive. He can't finish. I think his shooting's underrated on the game. I don't think he's that bad in real life at shooting. But we're putting Declan Rice there. Now to the more well-rounded box-to-box players. Number 7, Fellaini. He's a weird player, and I do not think he plays as well in game as his stats suggest. If he played as well as his stats suggest, he'd be up there for the best centre mid. Gonna struggle to link him in, but he is a very good player still, and one of the best free players you'll get on FIFA. Graven Birch, not insane right now, but I'm basing it again on he's going to get upgrades. He's going to get 2 upgrades, one to an 84, then the second to an 86, because Ajax definitely getting through the group, and I'm pretty sure that he's getting a double upgrade. When he gets that, he could be very, very highly ranked, depending on how EA do the upgrades. But it's a very good card, well-rounded, 4-star, 4-star, and 6'3". If the upgrades are good, this card's going to be one of the top ones. Marcus Llorente, purely his pace alone, just elevates him above lots of other players. And then, whilst he doesn't excel in any other areas, he's brilliant across the board in terms of he does not have a major weakness. His passing, while not great, is good. His shooting's good to finish chances. He's okay on the ball. His defending solid, and he's pretty good physically. But that pace alone really does elevate him, and you can feel it in game. Goretzka and Llorente pretty similar. Goretzka's a bit slower, but basically in every other area just beats Llorente. And on the inform, it's enough for me to put him above Llorente, I would say. This Goretzka as well has got some very nice links. The Rule Breaker, Davies is a great card. Royce is pretty solid. He's got linked up with Mercado, Haaland. I really like this Goretzka card. You're probably going to get better value in his normal card, but if you want the best version, the inform's pretty good. What number's that? 7, 6, 5, 4. 3 on De Jong. Now, this really does depend what you want. These two are about even. I don't think there's much in them. If you want a more playmaker, better on the ball, one De Jong. If you want the more box-to-box, well-rounded, I'd say Goretzka. Number 2, we're putting Perez. Perez, getting a card like this is pretty unique on FIFA. His defending and physical aren't as good, but for a box-to-box, I don't care that much about that. It's the fact he's rapid, he's got a great shot, his passing's as good as most of the others, he's fine on the ball. It's just that pace and shooting compared to some of the other players. Like De Jong, he's miles better at shooting and he's quicker and he's not much worse passing on the ball. I think the 4-star weak foot on him's nice as well. Compared to Goretzka, he's worse physically and defending, but he's got the pace and extra stats in other areas to him. So I think number 2, 3, and 4, by the way, Parejo, De Jong, and Goretzka, there's not a lot separating them. You could interchange any of these. I do think they're better than these guys, though. But number 1 is the first one of this who's not even meant to be a midfielder. It is the Viking King, Erling Haaland. For me right now, the second best midfielder on FIFA behind Hullet. Better than Vieira, better than Zidane. I say that having used... Well, let me see. I've got Haaland in my team. This is just because it was concept players. How long have I used Haaland for now? I have used Haaland for 134 games. All of them at midfield. A lot of those games people quit 0-0, so it's probably more like 110 games. And he's on 92 goal contributions from purely played CDM or centre mid. That's crazy. Nearly not far from 1 a game. My view on him is basically if you compare him to any other midfielder in the game, except for his defending, which I don't think makes that big a difference, especially when you take in his pace, physical, and height. He beats nearly all of them in nearly every area. I've used him next to Zidane, the baby Zidane, and I notice Haaland a lot more. I think Haaland's a lot better. I would always go an engine on Haaland to make his dribbling less clunky, but when you just look at the card, he's physically better than any other midfielder in the game. His pace is better than any other midfielder in the game. His shooting's about as good, if not better than any other midfielder in the game. His passing's about as good, if not better than any other midfielder in the game. And then when you put engine, he feels good on the ball. His passing's about as good as it can physically get. He's got nearly 99 pace. He's just outrageous. And like I said, my favourite midfielder I've used comfortably. His passing's that good that he just catches people out. It's one of the reasons I rated Rice so highly, because his passing's at that level. But yeah, this Haaland is a special, special card that right now is a very good price if you can fit him into your team. It's like 500k. This Haaland's just outrageous. And I find it crazy me putting a striker, or a card that's supposed to be striker, as the best midfielder right now. But that's my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Appreciate your support as always. Keep it spicy, and I'll see you in the next one.